Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Today we've got a brand new product from a company called Haylou. This is a Haylou Plus RT3. Currently this watch sells on AliExpress for around about $45 US. I will leave a link down below so you can follow and buy yourself a really good product as well. The box is usual Haylou style, so it's an outer sleeve with a box hidden inside. You've got some information on the box here. Also very important, down here you've got like your check mark, so if you were to scrape that off, you can always go on their website and you can double check that that's a legit product. And then inside you'll find a box that looks like that. If you're going to be ordering these watches as a present, the packaging is really up to the standard, so whoever's going to receive this present, they're going to be really impressed with it. So inside of the box, obviously you'll find the watch itself. There's a 2-pin magnetic charger, meaning that there's no data transfer available onto this watch. And also there's a manual and a startup guide, both in English and Chinese. So first of all, let's begin by talking about some of the figures of this watch. So first of all, you have a screen which is 1.43 inches across. It has resolution which is 466 by 466 pixels, and this is a true AMOLED display, so therefore you can see right now it has an always-on display. We will be talking about that later on as well. At the back of the watch you'll find the battery, which is 220 milliamp battery. Now if you're going to be using always-on display, you're going to be calling people via this watch, and you're also going to be turning all the functions like heart rate sensor, oxygen sensor and so on 24 hours a day, constantly taking the readings and all that. Please be aware that the battery will last around about 2 to 3 working days. Now, if you were to disable majority of those functions, you can stretch it to 7 days. And if you were to turn off pretty much everything and just leave this watch to run as a watch, then you can stretch it as far as 20 days, but that's asking a lot. This watch comes with a Bluetooth module, which is 5.2, so meaning it's an up-to-date Bluetooth module. There are no dropouts, it connects really quickly. Weather updates come through immediately. Same thing can be said about text messages and any other notifications. Believe it or not, but this watch actually comes with an IP rating 68. Now, that does not really mean a lot, because what the actual manufacturer states on their page, that with IP rating 68 you can do basic stuff with this watch. So things, for instance, like washing your hands. If you get caught on a rainy day and you're running down the street, they would be absolutely fine with a couple of rain droplets. Now you won't be able to submerge it in a swimming pool. Unfortunately, that's going to damage the watch. And also taking it into the shower is probably a bad idea as well. So sauna, shower, and taken to a swimming pool is a big no-no. So it has to be just a light splash. That's as much as this watch will take. The watch uses application which is called Haylou Fun, and in a mixture of the watch itself and the application you'll find as much as 105 sport modes. We'll be looking at it later on. Now, the build quality of the watch, Haylou has always been sort of famous for their build quality. So this is a totally aluminium watch, so the body of the watch is aluminium. On the right side you've got 2 physical buttons. The bottom button is there for your sports activities, so if you press that button once, it will bring up the sports activities. We will be taking a look at later on. Now, the top button is also your crown, works in 2 directions. So it works for pressing, so you can press it, and you can also rotate this crown to do whatever you want to do with the watch. Now, if you look on the right side as well, somewhere between the aluminium body and the plastic back, there's a cutout, that's for your microphone. Then if we go to the other side, you can see where the speaker hides. So the speaker hides pretty much the same way as it would have been on Apple Watch. The speaker is really good, it gets really loud, and will demonstrate to you later on, hopefully, if I can get that going. Now for the strap, it's a pretty standard strap. Now it's got the Apple Watch styling at the end of it. To be honest with you, it's a strap that's nice to feel. The actual material is like a powdered silicone. But the actual way the strap is, I was not really impressed with it, because every single time you tuck the end away, what it tends to do is throughout the day it starts to buckle like that, and it really annoyed me. So every single time you had to push it back. So it's just like, if I were you, I would probably look for a different strap if I could. It says at the back that it's a 22mm strap, so obviously you'll find loads of those on AliExpress. I think a metal strap would actually have been better than a silicone strap as well. Right, so what we'll do now is we'll take a look at the menu. So first of all, I'll show you some pre-installed watch faces. There's 5 of them. You can change them simply by rotating the crown. You can also do it by long pressing the screen and changing the wallpapers that way. Now, if you scroll from top to bottom, that gives you access to your quick settings. You've got things like torch, you've got do not disturb mode, you've got a cinema mode, you can set up an alarm if you wanted to, you can activate a battery saving mode, you can find your phone if you've lost it. There's also a display setting just there, so if you press on that, what that will do is that will keep your screen on, and I mean the entire screen on, not just as always on display, but like the entire screen with the colors and everything, and you can choose it to stay up on till up until 30 minutes, but obviously that's going to dramatically drain your battery, so you have to be really careful with that. This icon here allows you to rotate your wrist to wake up your watch. Obviously you've got the brightness settings, mine's set for somewhere in the middle. You don't have to go as far as the highest because obviously it's just no need for it, it's bright enough as it is. You can jump into the main settings, but we'll do that just in a minute. Now if you scroll from bottom to top, that gives you access to your text messages. You can read a lot of text message. So for instance, if a text message is big, you can read it pretty much to the end. I think it's only the last couple of words that won't be showing, but that's quite good. And also with the text messages, it gets stored about 7 text messages at a time, and obviously then it automatically deletes it. Now, if you scroll from left to right or from right to left, it doesn't really matter. You go into exactly the same menu. So first of all, you've got things like weather updates. Then if you go further, it shows you the previous night's sleep. I did actually wear mine to bed, so that's the reason why you can see the information about the sleep. Then you have all your measurements. Obviously, in order to take a measurement, you have to keep it on your wrist, otherwise it won't take any measurements whatsoever. You've got your blood oxygen, you've got your heart rate sensor, and then you've got your general fitness activity information. Obviously, it shows you how many steps you've done, how many calories you burned, you know, and all those good things. Now, if you want to access main menu, what you have to do is you have to press that crown. You go into the main menu. There are 3 styles that you can choose from. So this is like a waterfall style. You also have things like grid view and list view. So I'll show you the grid view. That's what the grid looks like, and you can't zoom in or zoom out, but you can obviously go around like you would have with an Apple Watch. And finally, there's a list view. List view could possibly be a bit more comfortable for a lot of people because obviously you don't get just an icon, but you get the actual word for what it is, so that's quite good. We'll stay on that menu style and we'll go through several things that are available within this watch. So first of all, activity. This is your activity that you've done in the past, so it will show you all the information about your physical activities. You can set targets, you can follow the instructions, you know, for how to burn more calories. So this is really physical activity, sport orientated fitness tracker, which is really good, which is really handy. Then you got your phone. Obviously you need to activate the secondary Bluetooth module, which is also in this watch, which is also Bluetooth 5.2, which is fantastic. We'll talk about that in a minute, and I'll actually demonstrate to you how the phone capabilities sound like. Then you got your heart rate sensor, you got your oxygen level sensor, you got your sleep tracking. Now, if we jump into sports, I'll scroll through and you can have a look at what sort of sports are available within the watch. Obviously, there are more sport activities available in the app itself. If you click on more sports, you've got subgroups as well where you can choose different sports. Records, this is where your records will be stored. So for instance, your achievements, so for instance, if you went for a run, you did some physical activities, your records will be saved just there. You can measure your stress, and you can activate for the watch to take a stress level 24 hours a day, so it's going to be doing that on a constant basis. Then you got your breathing exercise. As usual, it's very straightforward. You can choose between 1 minute to 2 minutes. You just have to follow the instructions, follow the guidance, and you can choose between relaxing, increasing your lung capacity and all those things. Now, if you access weather from the main menu, what you can actually do is in here you can actually scroll down and you will be able to see a weather for the next 6 days, which is great. You can't do that from the top menu, which I've shown you earlier, but you can do it from the main menu here. So 6 days, and it also shows you the ultraviolet level and also humidity and all those things. Now, for notice, this is where your information will be stored, like text messages and notifications from social medias. Music control is simple but very attractive and very useful. So you got play, pause, skip tracks, and you also have a volume control as well. That's always a good thing to see. Then you got your woman's health. That's basically your period tracking. Emotions. This watch can actually track your emotions somehow. It can actually sense whether you feel down or you feel happy and all those things. There's a calculator available within the watch. Looks really good. Looks really something you could make a use out of. You've got a stopwatch and a timer. So let's see if we can set up a timer for 1 minute. The main key feature I'm looking for in a timer is that I would like to be able to set it up and I would like to leave it. So then I would like to come back and I'd like to see my timer running, which is in this watch is fantastically working the way I like it. So you can actually exit the timer and do whatever you need to do with the watch, and you can come back and the timer will still be running. So that's big thumbs up from me. Like I said, you can set alarms. Now, if we jump into settings in here, first of all, you can choose between different watch faces that you have pre-installed on the watch, and you can also choose between different time formats if that's something you need to do. Show, that's where you set up everything to do with your screen, so brightness, timeout duration, and you can toggle on and off the option for raise to wake. You can always turn on off, always on display. Right, so that's pretty much it for the actual main menu and all those things. Obviously there's more available within the menus, but you're just gonna have to dig through, and a lot of it is like it's irrelevant. It's just going to be useful for particular people. So what I would like to do now is I will demonstrate to you how the microphone sounds on this watch. You can see that's always jumping into the always on display. That's the way it looks. I'll demonstrate to you how the microphone sounds, and then I'll do my best to demonstrate how the actual speaker sounds as well. And then once we're done with that, I'll jump in and I'll show you the Haylou Fun app, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to summarize today's video. So here's an example of how your voice is going to sound like when you're going to be talking through a Haylou Plus RT3. The watch is about 15 centimeters away from my face. I'm talking absolutely normal, and to me that sounds pretty damn good. So whoever's talking to you on the other side of the line will be absolutely delighted to hear your voice in such a manner. Look at the Haylou Fun app. When we jump in on the first page, you'll see that the watch is connected. It shows you your daily activity information first of all. Then if you scroll down, you'll see the information about your previous night's sleep, steps, calorie consumption, heart rate, stress, oxygen level, and all those things, your weight and everything else you might want. On the second page, you've got things like sports activities. So this is where you can actually start your sports activities. You can set a target. And what I'll do now is I'll demonstrate to you what watch faces are available currently. There are only 50 watch faces available, but as I've mentioned before, there will be an update that will actually get it to 100 or plus watch faces in a couple of weeks. So I'll just scroll down carefully, and you just can have a look and make a decision whether that's any good to you and whether you can actually use any of these watch faces comfortably. And now if we go back and if you actually click on the watch itself, that takes you into your settings menu. So in here you've got health monitor. Currently I've got all of those sensors enabled, and they are taking reading 24 hours a day. Then if you jump into the message notification center, this is where you turn it on. These are the social medias where you can actually receive the text messages from and information from. If that's not enough, all you have to do is down the bottom just toggle that on for the others, and pretty much everything will be coming onto your watch. The phone settings, this is where you can turn on your secondary Bluetooth. Mine is currently on and I leave it on, so if I wanted to ring someone, my Bluetooth is always ready. I can always make a phone call. And also for the frequent contacts, this is where you can actually save 30 frequently used contacts, and they will be stored onto your watch as well. You can set an alarm clock from here. You can also synchronize the weather for the region where you are, and you can also set up a reminder, so which will be like every 60 minutes the watch will remind you to stand up and do a little bit of exercise, to walk around, move around. And that's pretty much it about this app. It's very simple, very straightforward, but very useful and usable, if you know what I mean. Right guys, so to summarize today's video, I think Haylou Plus RT3 currently stand as one of the best watches you can buy for the money from AliExpress, with absolutely everything you might want. So it's got microphone, it's got speaker, it's got always on display, it's got true AMOLED display as well. The battery lasts for a good 3 days with absolutely everything turned on. You don't have to worry about that. The Bluetooth module is really good. IP rating could have been better, but you know what, obviously if you're gonna go and take a shower, just take it off. It's not a big deal. If you're gonna go for a swimming, also don't bother taking them into the swimming pool. You're gonna ruin them, but it's just something you're gonna have to compromise as well. Haylou Fun application is really good. There's currently 50 watch faces available, but it also says on the official website that within a couple of weeks, or perhaps maybe a month, there will be an update which will actually bring that library up to about 100 plus watch faces, so the more watch faces will be available. The styling, the actual build quality is really up there. It's really high standard. I really enjoyed wearing this watch, and this particular watch will stay with me. I'm not going to resell it, I'm not going to give it away. This is something like I will be using every single day. So yeah, fantastic product, thumbs up from me. I'll leave a link down below to the Haylou official store, so make sure you go down there, check out the prices and everything. And I hope I've managed to cover absolutely everything today. If I haven't, don't hesitate, comment down below and I'll do my best to answer your questions, guys, as soon as I possibly can. And until the next video, I'll see you later.